What an absolutely crazy game. On one hand, Spurs played well in spells, but on the other hand, we still lost 5-3. So it's a mad game to even break down, to be honest, because I'm so confused with this one. Um, as I said, yes, there's positives. Kolo Muani, great couple goals and an assist. The formation they started with as well, the 4-4-2, sort of worked. Of course, it didn't have much width, but it looked like it worked for a period of time. But then the negatives, we've conceded 5 goals, so that's 9 goals conceded in the last 2 games. 2 players have scored hat tricks against us. Um, yeah, I really don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It's such a confusing game. It seems more like a game out of the Ange Postecoglou sort of time that we were watching. Um, Entertaining game for the neutral, of course, but I really don't know. Of course, we've got to be real. I did a little video previewing the next 5 games, obviously starting with the Arsenal game, and this was one of the games I suggested that I was not expecting us to win. So you can't really be asking for too much going away to the Champions League holders. Of course, yes, they've got some injuries and they are depleted, but could we really be asking for Spurs to go and get a win there? I think it's a bit of a too much to ask. The performance, of course, is much better from the weekend, but once again, we didn't even turn up on the weekend, so anything could have been better than that. Um, went ahead twice as well, which is probably the most disappointing thing because once you go 1-0 up and then against 2-0 up, especially when Thomas Frank wants us to be so defensively solid, it's a bit disheartening. But once again, once you're playing against the best team in Europe currently, the holders of the Champions League, the amount of quality they have and a couple of the goals they scored as well were absolutely worldy. So I don't know. Once again, that's what I'm saying. It's just a hard one to break down because on one hand, you're disappointed to not come away with something. On the other hand, there's so many positives that we're looking to go ahead. So I guess it's going to be one of them ones we're going to have to see against Fulham to see if anything has actually changed, or was this just a one-off? Maybe PSG didn't really respect us enough. That's why we got a few openings. We will see. I really did like the lineup and the 4-4-2 and how it worked, and hopefully maybe that's something we can build on. But of course, the worrying thing is there was no Xavi in there, no Mohamed Kudus in there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're fitting into there. Of course, we know he loves a Paulinho as well. So does he then come back in? And then that changes the whole dynamic of that. But once again, there was also no width. But maybe with against a PSG midfield that were just outstanding, 3 of the best midfielders on the planet right now, maybe that was something that needed to be done in that game. I really don't know. You guys let me know in the comments as well, because as I said, it's just a mad game, so it's a hard one to break down. Of course, I'm not happy to lose, but I'm sort of happy with the performance. It's a weird one. Of course, you never want to be happy when you lose, but as I said, there are positives to take. Buzzing at Kolo Muani got off the mark, getting 2 good goals, got a good assist as well. Is that one of them ones? Of course, he's just playing against his old club and just wants to get out of Spurs, so maybe showing him he can do something. I don't know. As I said, we'll see at the Fulham game as well. You guys let me know in the comments what you think as well, because yeah, I'm completely confused about that one. Yeah, as I said, we'll see against Fulham if anything has changed. Hopefully it has. That's a game that we should be winning as well. So I'm expecting 3 points for that game. So if we do not turn up in that game, then there's going to be serious questions of Thomas Frank. But I think the performance today showed that the players are also with him, because coming off the back of the Arsenal game when it looked like they didn't want to follow the game plan, it looked like they stuck to it to a T. Of course, the defending could have been better in spells, but there's things to build on today. So yeah, we'll be back to preview the Fulham game, talk about that after. If you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share, all of that. We'll be back. Peace and love.